So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is our Unreal Engine tutorial series for beginners, and this is video number 14, I think. And in this video, we are continue with our overview. We stopped with blueprint. Yes, with blueprints. We watched the character blueprint, but we never created a blueprint. We just watched it. So in this video, we are going to create a blueprint, but before we create a blueprint, we will have to discuss when we need a blueprint. And to do this, I will use the starter content. I already I changed location of the static meshes. What I did was all the static meshes in our starter content, it was probably architecture, props, and so I moved to the folder which I created in my folder. Here I created in my game folder a folder named static mesh, and then I moved all from the starter content, the static meshes, here in my static mesh folder. And the reason for that is I only move the things here in which I will use. So normally I would not use not move all here, but it's faster when we move just all here and have it. So that said, to demonstrate you how you can make this too, I make one more example. For example, let's do, because normally I would show you that, but I already did this offline and forget to record it. So what we do is we go to our folder, and this time we are moving all the textures which you can see here to our folder textures. There are two ways. The easy way is you click on this one, go and drag and drop it here on top to your game folder, and then click on move it. That's the easy way, but I show you another way, because if you move the static mesh folders here, there was a problem because the static mesh folders in the static content was in different files, which is not good. There was a architecture folder, and there was a there was a props folder, and then it works not so that you can just drag and drop it and down here. There is another way what you can do, and this one I show you fast. The thing is, you go to your folder, right click, or you click this one, add here is the same, right click here, then you go create new folder, you write textures, and then you go down to the starter content again, you go to the textures, and now you select all. How you select all? There are different ways. You can select the first one, scroll down, hold shift and select the last one, and now you can see all are selected. And now you use again the drag and drop system, which means you click with the left mouse button and hold it, and then drag and drop it to your textures here, and then move here. And what happens? Yes, then takes a while, it looks like. Why it takes so long? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it worked. Let's see this one. Yeah, it worked. So the next thing is, don't forget, all time when you moved here anything, do this one. Go to content on top, right click and fix up redirections, because in folders, because this one we just did. We made here a redirection and moved it, copied it or something. Click on this one, and now you can go on textures and delete this folder without a problem. So this one you can do now also for static meshes, please, because this one I did, and materials as well. There is also a materials folder. I moved all the materials here in, and there is the static mesh folder which you should put here too. This one you do it on your own. I think it's not difficult, it's very easy. And we are concentrating on creating now a blueprint. But before we create a blueprint, one more discussion, when and why we need a blueprint. Here, to understand when we need a blueprint is very simple. You need a blueprint all time when you need functionality. But what does this mean? You need a blueprint when you need a functionality. Let me demonstrate this first. You go to your folder, then you go to the static mesh folder, and let's pick a static mesh. Let's pick, for example, this bush. We put it here in the middle, and the first thing to place it right, you can go here on the right side to details, down, transform, which I said it's very important, and click here this arrow 0, 0, 0. This is the start point, and this is the place what I want. And now I placed a static mesh without functionality in the scene, and this one you do normally when you want just create a level, a landscape, or something else. So when I press here the play button, yes, I have here a bush which makes our scenery, and it has no functionality. But here is one more mistake. You can see I can walk through, which means we have to talk about collision as well. Let's talk about collision later, because we should not mix things up. So the question is now, this one has just the functionality to stay in the scene and make a level or atmosphere and so on, but has no real functionality in the sense of you are coding something and it should do something. So on the other side, a blueprint, when we go to the blueprints and create a blueprint, it should have a special functionality when we reach this thing. But let's put another static mesh there. Let's go to static mesh. Let's go to, let's say, this door here, and put this door here. Let's move this a little bit. Yep. And now I have put the static mesh door here. And now what we expect is normally when we go to the door, it should open, right? Or it close, depends. It should make a rotation here, right? This is the thing when let's start this fast. And when I go here and I want, okay, it has no collision here as well. So normally it will be blocked, and then you press a button or anything, or even not a button, you just come here and it gets open. And right now this door is just a static mesh. Like you can see here, I just put a static mesh down here in the scene, which means this one has no functionality, right? And now we change that. I say I want a door with a functionality. Then you go to the blueprints. Then you create a blueprint door. So there are different kind of ways. I show you the standard way, which is you go here again to add, or here on the right side, here in blueprint class, you click on blueprint class. Important, one more thing, and we'll click actor. But actor is very important. Why? I already mentioned this, I think, but actor means all things what you can place in your scene, like this door, the static mesh, will become an actor, even if it's not a blueprint actor. For example, this door, what I placed here, is a static mesh. When we read here the type on the side, it says static mesh actor. And why it says that? Because we can place it here in the scene, and when we scroll down, it has a location. Most time, it's enough if you know this one, and you can translate it, right? You can rotate it, you can scale it, and you can place it here. That's why they become an actor. You can see we have here something like which is not an actor. For example, this directional light. Even so, they are also placed in the scene, but they are not actors because even so they have also translation direction and so, but they are not considered as assets which you can really spawn and so, I think. But just remember, all actors can be placed in the scene, and most time what you will see in a game are actors, which means just rocks, blueprints, all things here in the scene will be considered, almost all will be considered anyhow as actors. Okay, the next thing is, okay, let's go. I want this blueprint I want this door as a blueprint. And to do so, I create this blueprint. I go to actors because I want place it in my scene. I want spawn it later perhaps, or I have functionality with it. I go here on actors, and then I write the actor convention, which is, the blueprint convention, which is BP underscore blueprint. And then the name, in this case, it is my door, for example. And then I press here, we have an asterisk. This means it is not saved. We can save all, save selected. All right. The next thing is I open up this blueprint, and if it's not docked here, you can just drag and drop it here on top. Then we can switch here. Here is our blueprint door. And this overview I give you already, right? You know this, most of it. And then here, very important construction script you can forget, but viewport, event graph, that's important. And the viewport is connected here a little bit with these components here, because here all the visuals we will add through these components, and here is the add button. And like I said, we want now this door here in our blueprint, and the place where we do this is in the component section. We go to add. And to add a door, we need to add, I think there are different ways, but not sure. But let's say there is definitely one way which works all time, and this way is, you write static mesh. So, static mesh. You can scroll down. There are different kind of things, instances, static mesh, yeah, or so on. Forget these other ones. Just static mesh. And this static mesh, what you can see right now here on bottom, is a selector, which means I can select now any static mesh here and make it visible, right? Yes, let's do it. Let's switch to the details panel. We have again here our location. This was important, but now we go to the second important thing here, the static mesh. This is static mesh selector. So we select the thing what we need, and what we need is this door, because I want to give this door a functionality. So then to do, there are different ways to get this door. The easiest way is probably, no, this one is the, here you can search it. For example, if you know exactly the name SM underscore door, then you can find this here, and we have our door now here. But sometimes you don't know the name, and this is really annoying. And there is another way, I show you this fast too. So for example, oh, I know I want the static mesh, but I don't know the name. There is a way what you can do, and this is, you go back to your folder, you go to your static mesh and say, let's add, I want to add anything, and you can watch it here through and say, if you don't know the name, you just watch the pictures here and say, I want to add this here. Now you know the name, but instead of writing now here the name, we use the trick here. You select just this one, you go back to your selector, static mesh selector here, and here is a back arrow sign, and this back arrow is now connected to your content browser which you selected, and if you click on this one, it puts it in it, and that's very, very convenient, very nice. In many cases you will see, instead of searching this one, if you don't know the name, you just go here, scroll down, select it, and make you just a back arrow. it's sometimes faster than this one. Yeah, this is the two alternatives you have. So now we continue. We have now our door, and yes, here is our door. So what? Oh, so let's go here on top. There is something which I mentioned. We have all time when we change something, press first compile, and then press save. So all is saved and compiled. So one more question. What is now the difference between this one and this one? I show you something. I go back to my folder, to my blueprints folder, and now I can drag and drop this blueprint, what I created, here on the scene too. You see, it's the same. There is only one difference. This one is a static mesh actor, which means I can't have here functionality. I can't code anything. And here the difference is I have a blueprint, which means I can code now something in it. And let me show what I mean with that. For example, this is our blueprint, what we created, and now I can go here to this section and can write coding. That's the real difference here. And that's why you have to choose this wisely later when you create a level, because this one blueprint costs a little bit more storage, I think, and functionality, because this is just a higher call, let's call it, and a static mesh is in general cheaper. So when you have no functionality, just use static meshes. If you have functionality, then you have to use a blueprint, because you want these code sections, right? And I think yeah, I think we stop here, and in the next video let me code here something to demonstrate you this as well, what I mean with coding, because right now I talk all time about functionality and coding, but okay, what is this coding, right? I make a very simple example here, because we are not going for blueprint coding in the overview here, because this is a little bit not, because coding is easy in Unreal Engine actually, but you need a special tutorial series for that, just be honest. Yeah, so I stop here, and in the next video we code our functionality here, and yeah, see you there. Bye.